Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I decluttered my wardrobe of these two huge racks of clothes without tears or stress, using my new 5 techniques and 10 tips that I've been perfecting over the last 12 months since I produced my last massive wardrobe declutter. So if you're lacking motivation, have a wardrobe full of overflowing clothes that just aren't calling out your name for whatever reason, then this video is for you. So let's get started. So step number 1 in decluttering your wardrobe is make sure that you allocate the right amount of time for the task. Say, for example, in a wardrobe this size, which consists of about 3.5, a full-size wardrobe, if I only allocated half an hour, I definitely would not get the job done. However, I'm allocating only half an hour because I've already implemented over the last 6 to 12 months the 10 tips that I'm going to be sharing with you today. The first tip in maintaining your wardrobe and making sure that when you get to decluttering your wardrobe, it's not an overwhelming exercise that's going to be stressful and tiring, and it's just going to be something you're not going to get to, is each time you get dressed, if you bypass an item of clothing, say for example a white t-shirt, and you've got multiple of them, but for whatever reason there's a particular t-shirt that you just don't pull out, take that t-shirt out and identify whether the reason why you don't wear it is because it's dirty, in which case obviously put it in the wash. But if it's not dirty and maybe it's just misshapen and you don't wear it because it just doesn't feel comfortable when you wear it, or you only wear it for those odd jobs like when you're working in the garden and you don't feel that you need to look put together or even, feel pretty, I defy to challenge you on that, because even when you're working in garden or doing yucky work around the house, you still want to feel presentable and that if someone should come knocking at the door, you're suitably dressed. So what I do in that case is have a look at the t-shirt and decide, okay, it's not suitable for donating, it's not dirty, but what I'm going to do with it, and tip number 1, is to take it out, put it aside and use it as a rag. Or alternatively, cut it up into strips and use it as cable ties for your plants and your veggie garden. These are so much gentler on your plants, and these are also so much better than the plastic cable ties that you otherwise would use. And tip number 2 in the first step is, if you found a t-shirt that's in good condition, it's clean, but for some reason you don't wear it because it doesn't fit well on your body type, then I suggest that what you do is something that's been working for me is take that t-shirt out of the wardrobe straight away, roll it up and put it in a pretty basket in your wardrobe somewhere, so that the next time you're doing a major declutter, you can just go straight away to that basket, take everything out and you're ready to get started, and half the job's already done because you already know what you're going to be donating. Tip number 3, if for some reason I've looked at the item, say for example this dress, I love this dress, I love the way it fits, the only thing I don't love about it is the color. Whenever I put this color on, look, it just makes me look immediately like death washed up. So what I've done with this during the year is I've hung it up in the reverse coat hanger method. So instead of hanging it up this way, I've hung it up in the wardrobe this way, so that today, when I'm doing my declutter, all I have to do is grab all the items in my wardrobe that are hanging back to front, because that means that A, I don't wear that item and I haven't reached for it in the last period since my last declutter, and B, I've made a conscious decision to actually remove it from my wardrobe. But I gave it a chance. I gave it, that period since my last declutter to decide whether I could wear it in alternative fashion or style it differently. In this case, this dress is still hanging back to front, so it's going to be donated. Step 2 is the 3-sort method, where you sort your items into items that you're going to be donating, that you're going to be keeping, or that you're going to be repurposing. Tip number 4 with that is to use those t-shirts that are badly fitting or that they're misshapen, put them inside a cushion or a zipped cushion, and then give it to your dog to sleep on as part of all their soft beds and soft cushions that they sleep on. They will love that because it's got your scent and it'll make them feel closer to you and calmer. Tip number 5, which is look at these items with different eyes and ask yourself, would I wear or would you wear this dress if it was styled slightly different? So for example, this dress on me is very long. It drapes on the ground sometimes. And although I did wear it a couple of summers ago and I enjoyed wearing it, I now find that it's just too overwhelming. There's just too much fabric when I walk and I just don't enjoy wearing it. So I would consider cutting a section of it off, perhaps this section off, rehemming it, and see whether I would rewear it. So in this case, I'm going to take this out of my wardrobe and hang it up in the other rack and just give this dress a second chance. Another thing that I look at, for example, is this dress. I love this dress. The only reason I don't wear it is because it is very low cut in the neckline and I just feel uncomfortable. You either wear it over bathers, which, you know, we don't get to the beach often, or you just have to wear a camisole underneath it. But what I'm thinking of doing is, again, this is another really long dress which has a heck of a lot of fabric at the bottom. I'm thinking of cutting it a little bit higher and turning it into a midi dress rather than a maxi dress, and using that fabric, which is the same as the fabric up here, and just attach a panel here so that it creates a shorter neckline or a higher neckline and makes it a little bit more user-friendly for me. So this is a dress that I'm keeping because I do like the pattern, and when I wore it last time, my daughter said, oh, that's a pretty dress. So this is going in the repurpose pile. So tip number 5 is just have a look at whether the items of clothing that perhaps you haven't worn could be repurposed, refashioned somewhat to be converted into something that you could use. Now, if you're not very handy at sewing or doing anything like that with a needle and a thread, then there are shops at most shopping centers that provide alterations to your clothes at a very minimal cost. Now, the rest of my clothes are evenly spaced out in my wardrobe and I've got plenty of room to breathe. And if I want to add some new items, I've got room for that too. Step number 3, if you're lucky enough to be living in an area where you get 4 distinct seasons in a year, then I suggest that you rotate your items of clothing or your wardrobe by the season. Tip number 6, if you're short for space and don't have anywhere to put your winter clothes to allocate space for your summer clothes, then may I suggest that you use your unused suitcases. Pack up those winter clothes, those bulky jumpers, those coats and puffer jackets, roll them up, put them in a suitcase and put them in your garage or somewhere out of the way. Alternatively, if you do have space in a second bedroom or another room, then you can hang it up in the wardrobe in there. I unfortunately live in Melbourne and we get 4 seasons in a day. So unfortunately, I can't just remove all my winter clothes now that we're sort of heading into summer, because you never know in Melbourne when you're going to need your puffer jacket, your woolen coat and hats and scarves, even in the middle of summer. So if you're like me and you do have those need of multiple seasons in a day, then what I suggest you do after you've removed all the items of clothing that you no longer need because they have been placed back to front, store the remainder of your clothes by the type of clothes. So in this case, I have all my jumpers up here. I know, don't come for me. I hang up my jumpers. I know some of you will fold them, and in fact I do fold some, but these are the ones that I use regularly. So now what I've done is I've got all my clothes sort of in color order, which makes it so much easier when I say I want to wear a pink jumper today, and it's at that section with all the different types of pink jumpers that I could use. Or alternatively, if I want to wear a blue jumper, then I've got multiple choices all in the same area. Or the same would be applicable for pants. I have all my pants and skirts down below here in a color order. And so that when I need a pair of pants or a skirt, all I have to do is go down here, pick an item up, and I know that it's there. Saves me heaps of time in the morning getting dressed because everything is in its spot. Step number 4, a regular maintenance. Instead of just bulking it all up together into a monumental task, regularly go through your wardrobe and just decide to sort it into items of clothes that perhaps you think, I haven't worn it for a while and I'm not sure that I will be wearing, but I will keep it until my next major declutter, in which case, as I've shown you, I turn it around back to front so when it comes time to declutter, I can just go and grab those items that are back to front because I know I haven't worn them and I've already made my mind up previously that if that was going to be the case, I would be decluttering it. And tip number 7 is apply the rule of 1 item in, 1 item out at the very least. And today's video is basically a result of that rule. I've recently been shopping at Kmart and I've bought a whole heap of clothes that I'll be starting for you in upcoming videos. But in order to make space in the wardrobe for new clothes, I need to take clothes out. And tip number 8, when you shop, try and make a conscious shopping decision. I know lately I've been trying on clothes and many of you have said, oh, I hope you bought that item. But I haven't done so because that item is nice, but I could only style it in one particular way. And now I'm making a conscious decision of buying items that I know I've tried them on, and yes, they fit me well and they look good, but I also wanted to be able to style them in multiple different ways so that I get more wear out of that one item. Of course, if you're looking for a specific item to wear to an event and you fall in love with something, of course, by all means, buy it. This is more about consciously shopping for all your everyday items. And this leads me to tip number 9. Tip number 9 is don't beat yourself up when you're making bad purchases or when you're going through your wardrobe and decluttering and finding items still with tags on that you haven't worn. Sometimes we all need that instant gratification that a quick shopping expedition can provide for us. You know, suddenly buying some new items, something that's a little bit sparkling and new, will just give us that instant self-gratification. Don't beat yourself up over it. It happens to everyone, and take it as a boost to your mental health. We all need one of those. And if for you, like me, like to go shopping and buy a couple of t-shirts because of sale just so you can feel good that day, then you're not hurting anyone else. And if you can afford it, go for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. However, do try to make better decisions next time you go out. So learn from those mistakes. If you bought an item of clothing, for example, I love those boyfriend shirts, and if I could, I'd buy them in every single color. And in fact, I have bought one in a beautiful green, which was all the rage last year. I love this color. It was everywhere last summer and it's still around this summer. I love this shape shirt. It's basically available in many different colors in my wardrobe. I have purchased many shirts like this. This is the only green one that I have, and I have tried to style it over white jeans to try and emphasize the color and just give it a different hue or a different color influence to it. I've even changed my makeup when I wear this and gone for more warm tones in makeup rather than cool tones, but I just can't make this work. And unfortunately, without just carrying a ring light with me everywhere I go, which is just not normal, this will have to be donated. Use that knowledge as information to make your decisions more informed next time. And finally, step 5. Step 5 is make better choices, as in buy quality, not quantity. And I know I'm the first one that struggled with this. And in fact, this is what my channel is about. It's about learning and putting myself out there as an example of a woman in her middle age who's still struggling with making wise decisions, of decluttering her space around her so that she can have a cleaner, freer environment around her. She doesn't take all this weight of excess. I try and promote that through my channel and show you my mistakes, and I hope that they can help you through making videos about decluttering and about fashion choices. And sometimes they're not right. Sometimes I make mistakes, but hey, that's what life is about. And until I die, there's always hope for improvement and getting better. And with the aspect of buying quality rather than quantity, I've started buying these simple white t-shirts from Uniqlo. They're under $20 and they're really well made. I love the way they look. I can wear them with just a necklace and feel that I'm quite presentable, or I can wear them with jeans or with a wind cheater on top or a blazer on top, and I find that they fit really well. They wash really well. They don't come out misshapen from the wash. The dryer doesn't shrink them, and I haven't had any problems with them. So I'm slowly removing all my white t-shirts that I bought on impulse that weren't good quality, that I might have paid maybe a couple of bucks for them, but they really haven't lasted a distance. So rather than buying all those simple, cheap t-shirts now, I try and make better decisions and just invest in these types of t-shirts. Now I only have 2 or 3 of these, and I've started investing in multiple colors because this t-shirt actually comes in 17 other colors. So there's bound to be a color to suit any outfit that I'm trying to put together. So buy more wisely by making better decisions, and also buying different quality from different stores will enable you to provide more of like a capsule wardrobe, which isn't necessarily what I'm aspiring to. I am aspiring to having the type of wardrobe that when I open the doors, anything I see, I can create an outfit with. It'll be flattering to my figure and it'll be suitable for my stage in life. And last tip number 10, may I encourage you, and I know I don't have to speak to my viewers, I know you're all lovely ladies, but as a community announcement, may I encourage everyone to donate responsibly. If an item of clothing is a little bit too worn, perhaps use it as a rag, repurpose it as ties for your plants or as cushion inserts for your pets. Please don't waste the time and resources of donation centres to sort through items of clothing that really can't be sold. I was reading a report recently that said that $18 million was spent in Australia alone in repurposing and managing the waste that's donated at donation centres. Anyway, I now have a pile of clothes that is in very good condition to be donated. I wouldn't feel at all bad if I was to give them to a girlfriend to wear. I also have a pile of clothes that I'm going to be repurposing and getting some alterations done to them so that I perhaps can continue to wear them. And I have a stack of clothes, or not many, but I have a few items of clothes in my wardrobe where the hanger is back to front, so that next year or at the end of summer when I do another declutter, I know that those items of clothes are going to come straight out immediately to make my life easier in the decluttering process. And best of all, I now have space in my wardrobe for all those new items of clothing that I recently purchased from Kmart that are going to be coming up in a styling video or two shortly after this video. I hope you found this video helpful, motivational, or just entertaining. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. I love interacting with you there. And hit that like button to let me know that you enjoyed this video. And of course, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so and hit the notification bell, because that lets you know whenever I upload a new video, which is generally every Wednesday and Saturday. However, sometimes I might sneak in a video on a Monday or a Friday, depending on time. I hope wherever you are, you're in excellent health, are having a fabulous day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.